Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Black Clover episode 63, and it was a pretty good one, I thought. So I've never actually reviewed a Black Clover episode, but I thought better late than never, and I really kind of liked this episode, or at least had some thoughts about this episode. So yeah, let's just get to it. This episode was largely a fight between Asta and Ladros, the Diamond Kingdom dude that's can basically throw your own magic back at you, but since Asta doesn't have any magic of his own, he can basically go toe-to-toe with him. I just want to focus more or less on the animation. I thought the animation was bonkers, and it was off the wall crazy between the two of them flying around and hitting each other and zapping each other and throwing laser beams and whatever. It was pretty crazy, and I thought overall, based on my memory on this, it was pretty fluid. I think usually Black Clover has a pretty straight-laced animation style, and I thought this deviated wildly from that, even from like some of the more like well animated episodes, like Yami versus the Light Guy from that group. I forget what they're called. Something light. I don't know. But the guy that controls the light magic. That episode was very well animated itself. I thought this took it even crazier. It was very fluid from what I can remember. I watched it last night. But it was very crazy. Everything was like literally to some degree fluid. Between Asta and Ladros just kind of flying around and zipping from back and forth in the sky, and the earth cracking up from underneath them. I thought it was very crazy. So the animation was pretty on like high levels there. They probably had that had a bunch of people working on that and took their time with that episode, because I thought they did a really decent job on it compared to a lot of other episodes that maybe get outsourced and are a little less good, I guess. But yeah, so that's my thought on the animation. Now, there's a part of this episode that I kind of want to focus on in another video, which involves Asta and his magic powers, or lack thereof magic powers, his anti-magic powers, rather. But as a capsulated episode, I thought overall it was a pretty decent episode too. Like, animation aside, I thought it was pretty good. You really got a sense of disaster going on with, like, Asta was beaten down by this Ladros guy, and nobody else could get up. Everybody else was on the ground, and suddenly you got the witch, the head witch of the witch town or whatever. She apparently can control people, or at least unlock something in people, and she alludes to Asta being a member of a family, and by the end, she kind of says, oh, maybe you weren't part of that family after all, and maybe it's just a coincidence that he got his five petal clover book, and that it's just, oh, because he can't use magic and he doesn't have that attribute in him, that allows him to use the magic, or anti-magic rather. I keep saying magic. But I'm not totally convinced that maybe he isn't still part of whatever family she was alluding to. Or has some connection to that family. After all, he was an orphan, so who knows? Maybe he has some kind of deep connection with an ancient group of people that live in the Clover Kingdom, or lived in the Clover Kingdom. But overall, I thought Asta's transformation was pretty cool. They're kind of... The thing about Black Clover is it does kind of borrow a little bit from other shonen anime and shonen series in general. Definitely getting some Naruto and Kurama stuff going on with this big black demon thing inside of him. It appears that he kind of overcame that to some degree, so he was conscious during the entire fight with Ladros. They kind of made it seem like he was going to go berserk after Ladros was defeated, and it was like, oh, well, maybe he doesn't have control over himself. But then they just basically like, nope, it's still Asta. Asta's Asta, and that's not going to change. And that's fine, I think, but I do wish that there was a little bit more of a repercussions with him using these demon powers right off the bat, because this is the first time that we really get to see him use it, and I wish there was something more to it afterwards. They kind of got into it with like his body basically cracking and breaking, but I wish that like hit him harder. I wish he like didn't realize it at first, and then suddenly, like it hits him and he collapses. Then you have the witch come in, heal him, and whatever. I feel like it wasn't as for such a massive transformation for him, something that he's never done before, and for a power that makes him feel like, oh wow, like is this what people feel like when they're using magic? That's awesome. It should be something that like has a huge drawback to it. And I feel like other than just maybe him feeling tired, that doesn't do it. So I'm a little disappointed in how the fallout of the battle works in that. I'm really interested to see what goes on with the witch and him being controlled. One thing I'm really interested about is that they actually allowed people to get crucified. A lot of anime will edit that out, like it'll be in the manga, but then they'll edit it so it's like a slab behind them or something like that. That happened in Full Metal Alchemist with Agreed. He was technically on a cross, but they, in the anime in Brotherhood, they had him just on a generic like slab behind him. So I'm surprised that they actually allowed for crosses, but I guess it's up to the producers and the production crew behind it. I don't care either way, but I found that as an interesting thing. I'm interested to see where this goes, because the witch seems kind of like she's like both evil and maybe not evil at the same time. Like obviously their society is a bit more reclusive, and she's kind of a mean person anyways. She's not a good person, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's evil. So I'm wondering what she would even want to use Asta's anti-magic sword and abilities for in the long run. Obviously he's not going to stay under her control. I doubt that will be anything past maybe next episode. Maybe Yami shows up and saves the day again, which I would not be against because Yami's great. But yeah, overall, I thought this episode was just generically great. The animation was great. I like the battle sequences in general. I'm interested to see where it goes with the story. And my only real gripe really was with Asta's post-transformation fallout, because there really was no fallout. It was like he acted like it was hurting him, but then he kind of got over it real quick, and he was like, oh, I'm just gonna carry everybody away. I wish it had been more like, oh, he collapses on the ground and he needs to go get healing, and he's like, oh, well, I might be on the ground, but I'm still gonna help everybody, instead of him just jumping around and acting like nothing's wrong. That's my only main gripe with this particular episode. But yeah, I enjoyed it overall. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. That would be greatly appreciated. And remember to subscribe and ring the bell if you want to see more of me. I hope you guys have a great day. I will see you guys later in another video. Bye-bye.